Dear learners on the platform of MOOCs, I am Professor Nafis Ahmed Ansari from Department of Political Science of Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. Today's topic we are going to discuss is a very important in the personal administration. It is integrity in administration. Integrity is an important idea and subject in all spheres of society, not only politics and governance. If everyone talks about the need for integrity in both persons and organizations, but the specifies of what is sought and what is being discussed is still being researched. Integrity, which is also denotes more wholeness or completions and consistencies and coherence in beliefs and values, in synonymous with the Latin word integras, means intact, whole, entire, and complete. The terms wholeness and comprehenses professional responsibilities, moral reflections, values like incorruptibility, laws and regulations, moral ideas and norms, and explanatory behavior has been used to explore a variety of viewpoints in the literature on the ethics and integrity. One way to define integrity is the professional wholeness or accountability of this definition takes environment into consideration. A professional with integrity exercises their duties suitably, cautiously, and responsibly, considering all the pertinent interest. There are alternative interpretations of integrity that centers on one or more particular values such as incorruptibility, honesty, impartiality, and accountability. Another perspective associates integrity with virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. A detailed examination shows that the morality, that is, what is good or bad, has integrity are related to a distinctive way. While some scholars define integrity as an open discussions of morality, others see it as an umbrella term that incorporates all the values pertinent to evaluated officials. Acting with integrity is synonymous with acting ethically or morally. As morality put it, and the law offers very broad guidelines, but there are gray areas when laying down principles of adhering to the relevant moral values and norms, especially when making decisions in government and governance. The interpretation is close to a general way of acting morally and morality. However, another perspective emphasizes that integrity is the stuff of moral courage and even heroism, meaning that it stands for complying in an explanatory way that the specific moral stands and that it is something that one should strive for. Integrity is typically associated with morality or ethics. However, the definition of legitimate moral value or norm is often absent. The original definition of integrity views is as acting in line with pertinent moral values, norms, regulations. Although there are various interpretations of the term in the field of philosophy and in the study of ethics, both are actually concerned with right and wrong or good or evil. Integrity can be defined in terms of moral values, norms, and rules, provides there is a clear understanding of ethics and morals and morality. The basic principles of integrity and the concept of a good governance in public administration, when we try to understand, we find that good governance is based on a participation, consensus, orientations, accountability, transparency, efficiency, effectiveness, fairness, and universality, and the rule of law also. The main value of the integrity are independence and impartiality, reliability, caution, and personal responsibility. The administration concept provides for decision making and implementation processes involving formal and informal actors and structures. The government is one of the subject of the governance. Other administration entities include public organizations, business structures, citizens research institutes, political parties, and financial institutions. Good governance requires minimum corruptions and considerations of citizens' interests when making managerial political decisions. Good governance must meet the current and the future need of society. Good governance involves the participation of citizens in public administration. Participation can occur directly or through legitimate intermediary institutions, civil society organizations, and community representatives. At the present stage of the country's development, public service reforms is extricably connected to the ethical components of public service because it is impossible to achieve high connect through a high result without paying due attention to the issue of public service. Awareness of clear base of norms, moral values, rules of conduct, and response to typical situations when performing their official duties. The events of the revolution of dignity and we can say that the events of the revolution of dignity in Ukraine 2013 and 14 undoubtedly confirmed that that civil society in our country was formed and aimed to achieve the level of European norms and values and to protect them by all permitted means. These facts did not go unnoticed by the civil society and the leadership of highly developed countries, including the European Union, and led to Ukraine receiving another credit of confidence and financial support in reforming all branches of government in the country based on the principles of transparent, virtuous, and democratic governance. It is appropriate to note that the findings of research by the foreign and domestic scientists can provide assistance in the process of implementing the modernization of ethical block of public service reform in response to the growing challenge of globalization, international competitions, technological change. The form of public administration is changing to a flexible, decentralized, market based, democratic one, which has become the basis of new concepts of public administration, in particular governance. Public governance, new public governance, global governance, good governance, digital era governance, etc. etc. The existence of a system of relations in which state, public, and private organizations are active actors in the development and implementation of public administration decisions aimed at maintaining constitutional values in society in the face of dynamic changes and the growing number of internal and external challenges in a characteristic feature of governance model based on governance. In recent years, good governance has gained increasing recognitions in research and Ukrainian politics. In good governance, approaches to the development of the state have been developed and implemented for the countries funded by international institutions. The concept of governance encompasses decision making process involving formal and informal factors and structures. The government is one of the subject of the governance. Other government entities, including public organizations, business entities, citizens, research institutes, political parties, and financial institutions, corporations, lobbyists, and international donors, and the media also influence political decision making. Subject form of government, civil society, and the civil society organization will eventually deliver significant economic benefits in countries where the state ownership is important. Although there are various interpretations of the term in the field of philosophy and the study of ethics, both are actually concerned with the right and wrong, or good or evils. Integrity can be defined in terms of moral values, norms, values, rules, provided there is a clear understanding of ethics moral and morality. The concept of integrity has gained popularity in the public and the private sectors over the last 25 years. Since the early 90s, the concept of integrity in the public sector has become increasingly popular. Despite the increased level of attention to the concept, it is not fully understood, is more multifaceted, and lacks a clear definition. Good governance means consistency and clarity, adherence to principles, values in decision making and their interpretations, adherence to the social values and rules, actions in the accordance with the moral values, rules, and norms. Integrity will be considered on the basis of ethical behavior of public servants, a model of behavior of a person authorized to perform public functions, which includes transparency, honesty, accountability, and dedication to the performance of duties. Values and norms include consistency and legitimacy. Public values are important qualities of public administration. Norms are rules that governs good general behavior. Integrity is one of the most important and soft and often is spoken in terms of virtue. The concept of integrity concerns the perceived consistency of actions, values, methods, measures, principles, expectations, and outcome. When used as a virtue term, integrity refers to the quality of a person's character. Some people see integrity as the quality of having a sense of honesty and truthfulness in regard to the motivation of one's actions. Persons of integrity do not just act consistently with their endorsement. They stand for something, they stand up for their best judgment within a community of people trying to discover what in life is worth doing. Some commentators stress the ideas of integrity as a personal honesty, always acting according to the one's beliefs and values. Is speaking about integrity can emphasize the wholeness or interactness of the moral stance or attitude. Some of the wholeness may be emphasize commitment and authenticity. In the context of accountability, integrity serves as the measure of willingness to adjust the value system to maintain or improve its consistency. When the unexpected result appears incongruent with the observed outcome, some regard integrity as a virtue because they see accountability and moral responsibility as necessity for maintaining such consistency. In this sense, integrity is a combination of dedications, belongingness, and accountability towards the work assigned to us in public service. While ethics and morals can appear similar, they differ in practice. Ethics are specific codes of conduct defined for the task in a particular job or assignment, whereas moral are drawn from customs and practices of a group or society. The concept of moral norms and values, that is what is good or bad, is central to integrity. The characteristics also makes the reference to a generic consent that applies to everyone under the same conditions, that has to do with valid moral standards and values. Integrity in administration is very important. It is impossible to aggregate the importance of integrity in public administration or in a public management. It is necessary for a number of reasons. For example, the first we say the establishing public trust. Promoting public trust in government and its institution is crucial for effective governance. Hence, the maintaining integrity is a paramount. Integrity in action demonstrate a public service dedications to serving the public good, and it helps them gain the residents and trust and confidence. The other area that we find is transparency and accountability. Integrity is required to guarantee accountability and transparency in government activities. When public servants behave honorably, they are accountable for their deeds and are open and honest about their decisions. These measures has the potential to deter corruption and misconduct within the civil services and guarantee the appropriate allocations of public resources towards their designated objectives. Steps to promote an integrity driven culture in the civil services, when we try to understand it means the encouraging a culture of integrity within the civil services, guarantee that the public servants behave honorably and candidly. It is possible to encourage honesty in the civil services by implementing some of the actions. For example, strong legal structure. A strong legal structure is required to stop corruptions and misconducts in the civil service. The legal framework ought to outline precise standards of behavior of public servants and specify the penalties for acting unethically. Public officials must abide by a code of conduct, which is a collection of guidelines and expectations. It sets standards for the behavior of the public servants and offer advice on moral behavior. Enforcing the code of conduct in a strict and uniform manner is necessary to guarantee that public officials behave honorably. Second area we can trace is that education and training. Education and training are crucial to encourage honesty in civil services. Education on the moral behavior and the repercussions of immoral behavior is necessary for public servants. Thus, this can support a culture of integrity in the public services and increase knowledge of the value of integrity. Another area we can touch is the protection for whistleblowers. The legal framework should be protect whistleblowers and a create system of reporting unethical behavior in order to encourage public officials to expose unethical behavior without fear of retaliations. Another part is that efficiency and effectiveness. The proficiency of the public administration can enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of government activities. When public servants behave honorably, they make choices that serve the public interest. Better policy results and more efficient service delivery may result from this. When we conclude this discussion, we can say that the morality and honesty are essential for responsible and efficient public administration or public governance. These values preserve public confidence, guarantee impartial and decision making, encourage responsibility, and develop moral leadership. Public administration can foster a culture of accountability, openness, and responsiveness by highlighting these principles, which will eventually result in a more effective and equitable system of government. It is imperative that public administrator upholds ethics and integrity, not just to preserve public trust, but also to further the welfare and overall development of the society. Encouraging an integrity driven culture within the civil service guarantees openness, responsiveness, and effective government functions. It also necessary for citizens to hold public officials accountable for their conduct and for public officials to set an example of ethical behavior. In order to reinforce this culture of integrity, technology can also be a helpful tool in promoting transparency and lowering the potential for corruptions. Doing these things may encourage public administration to have an integrity driven culture that puts the people interest first and foster public confidence and government agencies. Thank you.